of your book. The title of your book is Computer in Action with Windows 10 and Microsoft 2013 Pakistan Edition. It comprises of 11 units. We will be starting from unit number 1. Unit number 1 is Generations of Computers, and the learning outcomes of today are: students will be able to know about history of computers, generations of computers, and features of computers. Dear students, do you know what is a computer? Excellent, you are right. Computer is an electronic machine or device for storing and processing data. Can you tell me who made the first computer? Very good. Charles Babbage made the first computer. What are the early calculating devices? The early calculating devices are abacus, Napier's bones, Pascaline calculator, and difference engine. Very good, students. You know everything. Dear students, the computers that we see today have been developed part by part by many scientists. In fact, the history of computer comprises of a gradual development from simple abacus to the electronic computers we use today. Abacus was one of the earliest counting devices, consisting of frame and rods with easily sliding beads on it. Calculations are done on an abacus by sliding the beads along the wires. You can see an abacus in this picture. The history of computers is often referred to 5 different generations of computers. First generation from 1940 to 1956. Second generation from 1956 till 1963. Third generation from 1964 till 1971. Fourth generation 1972 till present. Fifth generation, present and beyond. With every generation of computers, there was a major development in technology. As a result, computers became smaller, cheaper, powerful, and efficient. Let's start with the first generation of computers. The first generation computers were used between 1940 and 1956. Scientists used vacuum tubes in it. For example, ENIAC and UNIVAC. You can see the picture of vacuum tube on this slide. Look at this picture carefully and keep it in your mind, because we have an activity related to these pictures coming up. The features of first generation computers are: the speed of these computers was low, they were expensive to operate, they occupied a lot of space. Now coming towards the second generation computers. In second generation computers, transistors were used as processors instead of vacuum tubes. You can see transistors in this picture. Computers were smaller in size and were in use between 1956 and 1963. UNIVAC 3, IBM 700, and IBM 1401 are the examples of the second generation of computers. The features of second generation computers are: they were smaller and faster. They were cheaper as compared to the first generation computers. Now coming towards third generation computers. This was due to the invention of integrated circuit or electrical circuit compared of many transistors and other electronic components, which are tiny square chips with thousands of transistors placed on them. You can see some integrated circuits in this picture. The features of third generation computers are they were faster and more efficient than second generation computers. Users communicated with the computers using keyboards and monitors. For example, IBM 360, ICL 1900, UNIVAC 1108 Red. Now it's time for an activity, so be active. Look at the pictures carefully and identify the pictures. You also have to mention to which generation these pictures belong. Take your time. I hope you have guessed the correct answers of these pictures. Now let's check your answers. First picture is of vacuum tube, which belong to the first generation of computers. Second picture is of transistors, which belong to the second generation of computers. Integrated circuits belong to the third generation of computers. Very well done, students. Your most answers were right. Now let's have a quick recap of today's lesson. The first generation computers occupied a lot of space. The speed of these computers was very slow. They use a lot of electricity. They were very expensive to operate. Second generation computers were smaller and faster. They were cheaper. First generation computers used vacuum tubes, for example, ENIAC and UNIVAC. Second generation computers used transistors, for example, UNIVAC 3, IBM 700, and IBM 1401. Third generation computers used integrated circuits, for example, IBM 360, ICL 1900, UNIVAC 1108 Red. Now it's time to assign you homework. Do the given questions on notebook. Question number 1. Define first and second